Yeah, now 10 years, we, learned a thing or two, and we still learning a lot.
Yeah.
But
which is good. That's a fun
yeah.
part of the process.
Yeah.
We met a lot of cool people. We did a lot of cool things. We got a lot of good emails, a lot of good texts, a lot of good posts, a lot of good cups of coffee, and good travel. And coffee is amazing.
Yeah.
Depends how you see it, but at the end of the day, if you, I'll say, worship the craft, but basically just following your passion and whatever feels right, it kind of ends up being okay at the end of the day. Sometimes it feels like stagnant and like we want to do more. It's cool to pay the time, pay the dues, and then just go when it's right. And this feels awesome and feels right, but also, if you ask me now how we're gonna do it, I don't have that answer.
We will figure it out.
We're gonna figure it out.
Yeah. We both started the conversation of launching something, and then the machine, and I found a machine online, showed you the machine. We then got excited about that machine, then we sent money overseas to some, bleep, 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 and that individual kept the money. And that was it. Yeah, and we almost had no metric. So metric almost didn't happen.
And no money.
And no money. And we owed money. So for some of our customers and friends, they know that story, but I think it'd be really cool to get from your perspective, sort of pick it up from there. So we sent the guy the money, and then what happened?
And then rest was awesome. Yeah, I mean, you find him and he was all excited and everything fit what we were looking for and what we wanted. Yeah. But things went sideways kind of quickly because he just, he's awesome.
Yep.
He disappeared on us, and then we gave him extra money for rebuilding. He's smooth. He's a good listener and he's a good talker.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. P. The scary part was when he didn't answer the phone and we didn't know what's going on, and then no peak. And then we got a German phone number. Then we called from that number, and he answered the phone right away. And then we told him that, we need to finish this and do stuff. And then when the roaster came, it looked worse than on the photo because they wanted to refurbish and was some.
We got catfished we got catfished with the roaster. It was a Probat, but it was not the Probat we ordered. So and then we opened the crate. We both our faces fell. Yeah, it was awful.
A few pounds immediately.
Yeah.
That's those photos are still photos.
Oh yeah. So we have a couple of
amazing. That was the beginning, man. That beginning happened and that was opening the crate.
That was the beginning of Metric. We. So for those of you who don't know, we rebuilt the machine with the help of some people. So Tanas is your mechanic friend, colleague. He got into it. Basmati, Bas, this guy who
did electric stuff.
Just did electric stuff, and we just figured out the rest by calling people and figuring it out. So that's
sanding, grinding, and just all the beddings. The sand was inside. It was
it was an awful mess. But then.
We both have, work and we work. And then after work, we met and then we actually did the work.
And then they did the work,
And then sometimes leaving at 10, 11, midnight, we didn't even say bye to each other, how in a confined little space, tired, and just not seeing the light of end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And then when we finished, it was all awesome, but we didn't even know what we were going to do. And then we took the gas from a heater. Then we turned on the roaster and we went in you remember the Volvo?
Oh yeah.
The car.
The deliveries on the Volvo,
$1,700 and didn't have the the floor on the back. Yeah, Flintstones.
Yeah, so that.
And then we went in the car and waited for the roaster to get hot.
Yeah.
And that was our source of heat also. It was, as I see it now, basically, it was all fun when it was fun. It was a lot of not fun. But we never kind of questioned the...
Yeah.
It was just, every day was closer to the finish line. Even we didn't know where is the finish line and what kind of finish line we're talking about. And I recognize in you somebody who wants to do it, but didn't know exactly how. And speak of myself too.
Sure,
And then
yeah.
it kind of felt like, all right, we were both in it, but we were in it. And that was not only relief, that was the biggest relief and awesome relief that I can kind of count on you, can count on me, then we'll show up and we'll do whatever needs to be done.
Yeah.
And that we'll figure it out. It's kind of
Yeah, that's our life motto. Yeah, I think
we'll figure it out even today. Yeah.
So there'll definitely be 2 tombstones at one point. Hopefully in the later future, but it'll be like our birth date, and then like we'll figure it out. We will figure it out because that's that's sort of kept us above water, and we've had plenty of situations where we were below water. And then here we are today in our new space, which is complete, it's insane to even consider this place a place that it's our space that will, that will house the future metric, and it will have our full production, kitchen, cafe, the patio, seating space. And
we can finally do the stuff we were dreaming about. We can have the home and the place to do the consistent, good quality product, but also hospitality that at current location we can serve people a certain way. And serve the coffees, pair food, and just have an element that excite us, and that feeling it's obvious. And so far Fulton is awesome. It's just not complete what we want to offer. What we can do as individuals, but also as a team, and also as a company with all people behind that. It's looking good, and we're going in a good direction. Basically, everything what we wanted, it's kind of happening. I know it's 10 years. It sounds crazy. It's a decade of life. We are not 100 years old. We're in our mid 40s, but still, it totally makes sense, but also I'll never recall it. I don't know. It's kind of weird feeling, but we're full throttle. It's happening. The demo is done, and the things are definitely taking shape. Yeah.
What is your just going back to the beginning? What would be a fond memory of the beginning? Because there were a lot of memories that we weren't very fond of. As an example, we used to we'd get orders to grind 5 pounds of coffee into fraction packs, which I don't recommend anyone doing that for their business, but we would do that because every dollar mattered.
Every penny.
So every penny mattered.
Even the fraction packs were expensive for us, then we cut it on half and then seal one side to save the money on foil. Yeah, it was, I don't know, it was few freakouts, but every time when it's kind of really something extreme, it was also fun in a second because we create that and, at the universe with us. But when it was raining in a garage in Humboldt Park, and the water was up to our ankles, and we were packing coffee, and it was super late, and we had the farmer's market, I think, next day in Wicker Park, and I was just like, man, it's no way. This is the way that it needs to be done, but we did it. We did it, and we did it so many times.
But then we found the Fulton space, which we've been there for now 10 years. And we've, in that space, we built a cafe. So our only cafe up until Avondale. So, I guess one question that comes up a lot, that I think we both get, is why haven't we opened more cafes? And I think that's a really good question to.
I'm Libra, and I'm OCD, and I want everything to be awesome, and I want everybody to be happy, and just where the world is, just how things are, and we know. It feels like a warming up. I know it's 10 years, but what we want to do and what we can do, it's kind of like, all right, one day, not to prolong that we don't want to do it. It's like being ready, whatever that means. We can buy a machine and we got amazing product and we can serve and you're ready. But to execute the way that we would be excited going into that shop, that's like a starting point and the finish line. Same time, then it would, I don't know. It just didn't, nothing was like, this is the spot. but also owning and doing from scratch like we're doing now. We actually demoed everything and then we digged out and then we put it back. And now it's a vanilla box and start putting things the way we wanted. That we still don't have a final interior,
Yeah.
which is, I love that fluent part, that it's not like, okay, this is it and we gotta go that way. We don't have to. We'll do whatever feels right and maybe never felt right in a sense.
Sure.
Neighborhoods or people we are dealing with, or we got opportunities, a lot of them, but it was never the one.
Yeah.
At least that's the feeling behind.
Yeah.
Metrics behind it, yeah, it's, we can flip it in a few weeks.
Yeah.
But so far, like, this is exciting. Not just that it's our building, but it's exciting the amount of space and what we can do and we're planning to do, even in stages. But it's super exciting.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the reason.
Yeah, totally. And one thing with Fulton, as it is here in Avondale, is that in full transparency, in both occasions, we were dealing with very limited resources, but which, on the one hand, like, we want to build spaces that wow the public, but on the other hand, having certain limitations feels sort of like, at least I see that in you, like, you get more creative with limited, and it creates for a more authentic, more sort of, just a really, just a more authentic, more like stripped down space that allows us to focus on what we want. So, hello, okay. We should leave that on there.
Yeah. What was the biggest freak out?
Oh man, I can't say that on camera, but I won't say that on camera. Yeah, but I would say that the biggest freak out, the benefit of the biggest freak out is that it allowed for me to mentally be broken to the point to where I had to come to terms. Well, I didn't have to come to terms. I knew whose side I'm on and whose side I'm not on. And because we live in a world where, unfortunately, no matter how passionate or transparent or how much good you want to do, not just unto others, but in the way we practice our business, there are going to be certain circumstances that put you sort of at odds with other people that are looking to hurt you. And so that, you and I have been through that. And what I'm grateful for is that if nothing else, I know that we could be thick as thieves, like really like stick together and be united front. Yeah. So
that's the only way.
That's the way to look at it. And not looking at it that way, then it allows, at least it puts me in a place where I just get depressed. I get like, why are we doing this? But it didn't do that, like it really did the opposite, which I'm really happy about, because it's sort of, I won't say it's not normal of me, it's just that I would have tended to, listen, if this happened like 15 years ago, I would have just withered and like fall apart. I would just walk away. I'd be like, I can't be a part of this, I can't deal with that. But that didn't happen. But I would say that you definitely influence that, sort of the way I see things and the decisions.
Both ways,
we've been a part of it, because it's we're not in it to. This is not a game. This is not it's not a hobby. We still, even till today, don't have outside investment. We've been able to do this with very little, and that is like something I'm extremely proud of. And I
Yeah, the people we know, and just making something from nothing. That is a soul food. It's awesome. It's I just remember the fireman.
That fire sucked. Yeah.
And you had a meeting with a
potential wholesale client.
Yeah. And then I was parking outside. The fire truck was just like going with a ladder over the roof, and I'm like, what is going on over here?
Yeah.
And then I ran inside of the building, and you were like,
cool as a cucumber.
Kind of. Like, it was just like, no problem. I'm like, we got a problem.
Yeah.
And when they broke the window.
Well, I only knew we got a problem when I see the ladder going up, and it's like, oh man.
Just the axe.
Yeah.
They started like chopping the roof.
Yeah.
And they're hosing everything down, and I'm like, we gotta go now.
Yeah. So the long story short, just to kind of add more context, some people were visiting potential wholesale clients or opening a bakery, cafe, and the chaff can smoking, which is not that unusual, but I just wanted to sort of not, I didn't want to freak out. I didn't want to sensationalize. It's on fire, so I just figured like fire will put itself out. But as that's happening, then you walk in, you're like, what's going on? Like, holy shit! And it's like, no, we're good. And then I see the ladder going through the outside window, and then I knew, I'm like, oh wait, this is a real problem, and it was.
Yep.
But we were roasting later that night. Yeah, like we mopped everything up.
We had a big open roof.
There was an open roof. Yeah,
it was snowing.
Oh yeah. It was negative like 10. It was awful.
That's why the fire happened.
Yeah.
It closed and froze and condensation happened, and then everything stayed inside of the chimney, and
I mean that
was interesting.
Yeah, fires are not. Yeah, so every time we hear like the fire, like the you hear the
woo,
like start freaking out, like okay,
like,
let's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not
no,
fun.
that was a moment, but yeah, now 10 years we learned a thing or two, and we still learning a lot.
Yeah.
But
which is good. That's a fun part of the process.
Yeah.
We met a lot of cool people. We did a lot of cool things. We got a lot of good emails, a lot of good texts, a lot of good posts, a lot of good cups of coffee.
Oh yeah.
And good travel, and coffee is amazing.
Yeah.
Depends how you see it, but at the end of the day, if you, I'll say, worship the craft, but basically just following your passion and whatever feels right, it kind of ends up being okay at the end of the day. The formula doesn't exist. I still don't have it. But somehow, it just makes sense that we pave.
Yeah.
I always say that we never took the brick from whatever we paid to put up front, then we cannot go back. We always can go back, but we never went back. We even, sometimes it feels like stagnant and like we want to do more. It's cool to pay the time, like, pay the dues and then just go when it's right. And this feels awesome and feels right, but also if you ask me now how we're gonna do it, I don't have that answer.
We will figure it out.
We're gonna figure it out.
Figure it out. Yeah.
Anything on a personal level, like 10 years ago and now? Any big thing you can recall? Good, bad, ugly?
Yeah, I mean, I think about like our first sort of like origin trip was, pretty monumental. I guess, for me personally, like visiting producers and establishing relationships that weren't transactional, because, in our industry, it's easy to find delicious coffee. It's easy to connect with, qualified importers that are selling really delicious coffee, but I think that what we both agreed on is that we wanted to not just source really delicious coffee, but do so in a way that was not transactional, but it feels like these are producers we can count on year over year. We can look forward to not just visiting them, but also receiving their coffee, and
it's a two-way street.
Yeah.
It has to be sustainable for both parties.
Yes, yeah.
And a lot of people still even, the coffee consumption it's still growing. People don't know.
Yeah.
And you can blame it for that, but it's the good part is we feel good the way, you establish things that we do. And I'm super proud of that I'm part of something like that, it's under the Metric name. And that's one of the main things, waking up happy.
Yeah.
Even if you don't see it daily, you don't feel it daily, but it's there. And then when they visit or you go visit them, it's obvious that these people definitely count on us, and we count on them for the honest work. And
I mean, I think that like I always tell people when I describe sort of our partnership, working relationship, it's like wherever I end, you begin, and the other way around. There's things that you can manifest and materialize that I could never even dream of doing, and maybe to some degree it's the same the other way around. But the thing is that we both want to build space in an environment that is welcoming of people, that is driven by quality, hospitality, and also by the values that we share today, which is, having radical transparency around the supply chain, which is incredibly important for the future of coffee, but also hospitality is a big thing. When I met you at Streets, you would, I was driven or attracted to visiting your space because you were behind the bar at that time, and you have to be, you have to be there from 6 a.m. till like 10 p.m., as you do when you launch something. But definitely like the ability to, share what you're doing, your process, and also doing it in a way that's really authentic was something I'll never forget. And not just me, but everybody I talked to, like, I remember when Darko was at the bar, you were, and then when you got out of the bar, you were still around, and people really enjoy that. They enjoy that and being sort of the de facto mayor of Wicker Park, I guess, as some people would say, like you shake hands and kiss babies as they walk in. But I think that I'm excited to see that happening here. Just to kind of get people to come in and visit, and you share what you're excited about. And alternatively, I'm looking forward to doing the same, and our staff to also do that, to where they can.
It's actually the first time platform that both of us can be behind and make people happy.
Yeah.
And having space to do right, it's just the dream coming true.